happen. Okay, so we are here. My name is Dee Williams, and I help professionals just like you set up, run, and scale your very own niche recruitment and staffing business. And every Monday in my community, I have a live class where we talk about setting up our staffing businesses and getting them off the ground and, making them profitable and all of those things. This class in particular is about setting up the staffing business, though. All things needed to set the business up in a way that's compliant, in a way that will allow you to convert, right? Because you're here because you want to convert. You want to convert your clients, candidates, into placements, and to really understand the process and so forth. A lot of people think that setting up a staffing business is just about the legalization. Is just about, hey, I'm going to legalize the business and get my website, and then I'm pretty much done. But it doesn't work that way. There's so many more layers to setting up a staffing business that most people aren't even thinking about, but has to be addressed, right? We have to talk about it. It has to be addressed. I hope I'm on the right microphone. Let me just go and look. So it's very, very, very important. Yes. Okay, perfect. I think I should probably put this here so I can do this right. Okay, so very, very, very important. So that's what we're here to talk about today. So I want to say hi to everybody that's here. First dibs naturally to my class. So if you have any questions at any point, I want you to chime in with your questions. I want to know where you are really in your staffing business and, what's missing in the business. And then, I like to go in and fill in the blanks and talk about different things that are happening right now, because a lot of people are trying to figure out, okay, they have layoffs going on. So what's happening? So how is staffing going to exist if layoffs are happening? Or how should I structure my business if layoffs are happening? We're going to talk about that and talk about the opportunity that's on the table for you right now. Okay. Right now, 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 right now. Okay. I always say, and it's not just me, but you've heard people say throughout history that when there is a shakeup, there's opportunity. And that's what we want to talk about today. So I want to welcome all my staffingpreneurs that are here live. And I want to make sure y'all greeted each other in the room. Did you say good morning and all of that great stuff as you would if you walked into a physical organization, a physical building? Everybody online, what's your name? Where you from? Chime in. Let us know. We want to dive into the conversation with you as well. I'm going to share my screen throughout this morning, but I want to start off with just having some conversation about, where we are and what's happening and how we're going to take over, in a positive way, of course, because sometimes I'll be saying things in YouTube, taking what I say into something that's not. But that's what we're going to talk about today. Hold on one second. Perfect. All right, awesome. I'm trying to get all these recordings and everything together to make sure all right, so let's talk about the layoffs that's happening right now. There is this silence, especially in the tech space. There is this quiet layoff that's happening throughout the year. Right now, you see a lot of videos online where people are talking about, oh my gosh, I got laid off. Now what do I do? Or, I'm disappointed, or whatever the case may be. This is a great opportunity for us. This is an amazing opportunity for us. I first of all, I want to say to anyone that's gotten laid off, I understand. I've been there, just like a lot of people have. And if any company is laying off without severance, that kind of sucks too, right? So I totally get that. But this is an opportunity for you to take control of your life. That's what I would say. And hopefully get some training in AI so that you can take the skills that you've had and you can convert them into some type of AI, presence, right? So that's where I'm hoping that everybody is, okay, where I want people to be. Now, for us, that's a great thing because this gives us an opportunity to connect with companies that are building and that are growing. because for every company that's laying off, there's another company being created, right? And there's another company receiving venture capitalist funds, right? Millions and billions of dollars of money is coming in through VCs, and they're pushing their money in a certain direction. Good morning, Jerry, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Daniels. So they're pushing this money out in this direction. They're hiring. Whenever someone gets a large amount of money, they are hiring. They're going to hire. They're going to continue to build their product. They're going to sell their product, and they're going to hire, right? And I want to just show you a little bit about what that looks like, just so you can get a small idea, because this is, I'm going to share my screen here, because this is the reality. Don't let the news and different things like that get you all frantic and making you think that, that we are doomed. That is not the case at all. Okay, we are actually in a really great space, because as I stated, I'm just trying to get my screens together. Is this screen one? Let's make so much. Check out that for every company okay, let's put this down here. So, and not to mention, like, you can go and do the stats, which I probably should have did for you, but you can go do the stats and see how many companies are being created on a daily basis. And you can see that, there's no shortage of entrepreneurs launching their businesses. So that'll tell you that right there. But there's this company, there's this website, and it's called Crunchbase. And I talk about it a lot, because this is like the king/queen of where you go in to see what companies are getting funding, right? It's called crunchbase.com. I'll throw it in the chat for anybody who wants to take a look. It's a pretty easy name to remember, though, crunchbase.com. And basically, these companies get so much money from venture capitalists and to build different things, right? And so I don't know if I still have my login, because I don't really use this as much as I used to be honest with you. But I know what they do. We're going to see. I don't think that's not my login. Yeah, I log in with LinkedIn. We're going to see. Let's see if my login still exists. Because I do everything on the fly. Oh, yes, yesterday. So, okay. So now all of these companies now are forcing everyone to do the 2-factor authentication. And it's like, we are literally connected, and they're connecting us in so many ways. It's insane. It's kind of scary. I don't know. It's exciting and scary at the same time. I don't know. But let's see. Make some magic happen. Clearly something. I got something going on, because it's having me to go through a process. Okay, perfect. So I do have something. Okay, so Crunchbase is where you go to see what companies have received money. Let's see if I have any saved searches. I have 10 saved searches. So they've changed their view so much. This is cool, but not so much. Recently, how do I go? Let me do my advanced search. There we go. Companies. All right, there we go. So, and now they partner. You can get a free trial, but they partner with, you can get leads from them now. So I'll just say that you can get leads. But you have right here, they have a funding status and like how much they received in funding. And this is basically companies. So we're going to go in and look. I see funding date, last funding date, which we have, founding date. And I have just like a general search here from what I can tell. Let's go look at the filters. Partner filters. Y'all should come to Crunchbase, because every industry on the planet is in Crunchbase, right? What I would say, yeah, probably. And so whatever your industry is, like when I talk to my staffingpreneurs and I talk about setting up your target list, right? And your target list is broken down. And this is for the setup class, right? Because you should be thinking about who you're going to do business with at some point in your business. You have your target list, and you have on your target list, you have your target 100, and you have your generalist, right? You have your target 100, you have your generalist. And so your generalist is kind of like your entire market outside of these core 100 companies. These core 100 companies are the companies that you really want to invest your time and energy into, connecting with. These are the companies you want to marry. These are the companies you want to do business with, have a relationship, the whole nine. And so on that, the variety of that target list, we break that list down on so many different levels because every company's structure and hierarchy is different. And so being able to get a contract and to do business with someone is different based on the company type and the company size. So we want to make sure that your target list has a diverse group of companies. And one of the groups of companies on that target list are tech startups. Now, a lot of my people in healthcare are like, well, D, wait, what do you mean tech startups? Like healthcare, they need nurses. They don't, we're not a tech company, but even tech startups hire nurses and nurse practitioners and healthcare professionals so that they can grow their technology platforms or offer services through their technology platforms. So you do not want to sleep on this. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. There is some type of technology out there. And if they're on Crunchbase, 9 times out of 10, they've received some type of funding. So they have a lot of different funding types that come across the board. They have pre-seed, which is the money that you get first. Or I would say like a first rounder. This is like when you have an idea, you're trying to start the idea. People will give you, typically it's a small amount of money. I typically see like, $1 million, $500,000, $300,000. This is a small amount, and it's typically like private people. And then you have seed. That's when it starts to grow a lot more. You know what I'm saying? And it really starts to take a different shape. You start getting more than $1 million. You start getting 5 million, 10 million. Series A, it'd be like hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars. Like they are literally like funding money, getting money. So there are a lot of different types, as you can see. All of these undisclosed. They have non-equity corporate round. So we're going to go in and look for all of them. We want to see everyone that's gotten money in all of these areas. And I want to show y'all how much, so you can see how much money they're getting. And I'm trying to tell you that when people get money, they're going to spend it on hiring. They just are. They're going to spend it on technology. They're going to spend it on hiring. And as staffing agencies, we're really going to become, tech companies in a lot of different ways. Okay. We definitely are. So let's see, in the past 90 days, we want to see everybody who's gotten funding in the last 90 days. And we're going to go from there. Now it changed. That's okay. Because we're going to active company. And then we're going to go in and find, they changed literally their whole setup. So I'm really irritated right now because while I'm fixing this, let me see. Stream free. Oh, okay. Do you think staffing is a question that came across my desk while I'm going back into Crunchbase? Because clearly something ain't right. What happened? The owner of this website. Why? Me? Why? I just got here. Okay. Let's go incognito. Okay, so I don't know. It says the owner of this website, Crunchbase, has banned you temporarily from access to the website. Developers collaborate for more details. I have no clue. You're being rate limited. This area is you're being rate limited by the website. Rate limiting. I've never seen this. Error code collaborate. Retry the cache purge and contact Cloudflare. If you're a site visitor, contact the site owner to request exclusion. If you're the site owner, your rate limiting device request a short. Okay, so this has something to do with the website, not me. So the site's implemented rate that affects your visitor traffic. Well, I don't know. When y'all get a chance, y'all go to Crunchbase, because I don't know if they're down. I don't know what's going on, but you should be able to go in and do a search just as easy as you go in and do a search on LinkedIn, and it's the same thing. The only difference is Crunchbase is showing you like in a whole graphic type of situation. So like if you were on LinkedIn, you would do the same type of search, right? You would go in and search companies. But on LinkedIn, you can't search the funding rounds. That's the only difference. You're not going to be able to search the funding rounds on LinkedIn. You can on Google. You could do Google News. So you could go to Google. Let's go to my home, and then I could say, I would say seed funding. I'm going to just put it on there, and then I'm going to say a round funding. A round. I think it's the Series A. I think that's what they call it. Yes, that's the Series C funding, Series A, B, C. We do all of that funding. Okay, I'm gonna add funding on here. And when you put things in quotes, that means to go and look exactly for those types of things. So you're just going to click on news. This is the easiest way to do it. And then it's going to pull up everything that's happened, that's been publicized. So you can see right here in February, this company, Reverb Therapeutics, they raised 17 million. And I'm going to just take my seed out and just kind of open it up like that. And where the series, and I'm going to just do Series A just to keep it simple. And there you go. 11 hours ago, Mandolian raised 40 million in funding. Ignis Energy closed 13.6 million in funding. ClearSpeak secured 60 million in funding. Lantham, so all of these companies are getting funding, right? Okay. I got to go back to the question this lady asked. Same thing with B. So you can go in. Okay, so nobody got any B funding or is not showing up. But then you got Series C. So you can go in and look at these companies and really start creating your list based on different things like that even, right? And then if you put your industry in and then you say healthcare, and then you'll start to see all of the companies that are raising money for healthcare. And I would just always start at A. I don't think pre-seed is a good way to start, but I mean, it could be. I mean, they just have the least amount of money. But seed and all the way up to H, I think it's H and different things like that, they do. And so when these companies are getting money, you should be trying to reach out to them immediately to build the relationship so that you can be a part of on whatever it is they're building. And definitely you want to look at it and make sure it makes sense. And you're going to go in and a lot of times I want to tell you, they're not going to have the jobs listed right away. So you can't assume that the jobs are going to be like if you go to their website and they don't have any jobs posted, if they just got 50 million in funding, like they're not going to have them up immediately, so you have to be able to, try to, I guess pre-guess, or predict what it is that they may need based on what they have. So like, let's go to their careers. They just got this funding today. They're definitely not going to have the jobs posted. But like Waymo, it took them when they got $300 million or something like that. It took them about 30 days to post like 100 or so jobs, right? This is some years back. So it takes a little bit of time. And you're not going to always see it immediately, but they do have opportunities and they are going to need to hire. So you should be looking at this and really taking this to the next level, putting this as a part of your strategy. Okay. Just one thing that I want you to think about. All right. So people are getting money. And McFlash, you asked the question, you said, do you think staffing and recruitment industry will be finished due to companies using AI instead of employees? No, because AI is not going to do everything, right? AI will do some things, many things in many instances, but it's not going to do everything. I've done a lot of research and there are industries that are not going to be impacted at all. Healthcare for specifically are not going to be impacted. I don't want to say at all, but I would say that healthcare is going to be the least impacted or impacted. It's going to take longest, I would say, for it to be impacted in the way of other companies. But no, like software developers, they're laying them off, but they're hiring AI software developers, like people who work with AI software. And why is this important? And I can attest to this. So I build AI software, and when my software wasn't acting the way I wanted it to, I went online and asked a couple of software developers, could they take a look at my code? They refused. They said, we don't work in AI code. We only work in, I guess, native code or what have you. And I started to think then, I was like, they're going to be left behind, because if everything shifts over to AI code, like, what are they going to do? So it's more about, you know, people being employed are going to be people who know how to use AI, or who are, you know, who know how to use AI, period. And that's it. And there are more AI driven jobs that are out there now versus just regular jobs. So it's almost like you just got to think of it this way. For every job that we had before, we're probably not going to need as many of those jobs, but those jobs still need a human in some way to direct it, to teach it, to guide it, to expand on what it is to do, and all of those other things. And like, you got to know how AI works, like, and how it really is just a thought predictor, you know. So when you understand that, you still have to have human thought to push things along. Now, if something is a mundane task, minute task that needs to be done over and over again, and it never changes, that's totally different. Those jobs are pretty much gone. And so those people need training in AI in other ways. But everything today, everything we do today, you just have to put AI in front of it and know how to use AI in your role. And once you understand that concept, then you'll see that for every job that's being let go, there are more companies looking to hire people who have experience with AI. And most people don't have experience with AI. Like, most people don't. So we have to get people trained. These are things that I talk about every week. We have to get people trained and up to speed on how to use AI, because if they do get laid off, then it won't be such a shock. They'll be able to be employed rather quickly. Our job as staffing agencies is to connect with the people who definitely know how to use AI, who are using AI in a very unique way, so that we can market those people. Our job is to start training people in AI. And you can do that. You can charge people to train. You can charge companies. You can charge candidates, you know, to train them in AI. Like, this is where our work is most important right now. This is where we're needed the most right now. So many times, so many things that happen in the world, staffing agencies we're the ones that are the heroes. We're the ones that come and pull through for everyone else. During COVID, we placed so many people. We made sure that people were safe and protected, and we stepped it up. The nurses stepped it up, the warehouse, everybody stepped it up, right? And so here we're doing that again. We're about to have a transition. We're about to have a shift over the next 2 to 5, maybe even 10 years. And things in a way that we know it is going to look different. But we're going to be here to support. We're going to be here to step up. We're going to be here to help ensure that everyone is healthy, safe, employed, and trained, and that we have the power to control the outcome of our society, right? So let's get people trained. Let's get people understanding how to utilize it, so that we can continue to create AI in a way that's safe and functional for us as a race. Now, I took that way far, but I just, y'all know I'm passionate about AI, and getting it into society in a good way. But no, do I think that recruitment industry will be finished? Heck no. We're going to be on even more on fire than ever. And you see it right now. But we've got to create opportunities to teach people how to use AI. And I guess my question to you is, what are you doing in your business right now to place AI, to offer AI, to any of those things? Like, what are you doing in your staffing agency today to make that happen? Are you implementing it? What is your strategy? How are you incorporating it in your business model? Are you staying up to date on what's happening in your industry and how your industry is utilizing AI? Are you looking at those things and seeing how you fit into the scheme of things? That's a real question. I'm not just throwing that out there. That's to my class and anybody watching. That's a real question. What are you doing to integrate AI into your business model? Because you don't have to get left behind. You can be right on the cusp of things. You can be right there in it with everybody else. Mm. I was thirsty, super thirsty. I know Dr. Wright, she's not saying anything, but I know she's implementing a SaaS products in her business, in her AI business. But anybody, has anybody thought about their training program? Has anybody thought about, how what type of employees in your niche market are needed in AI? Have you done the research? Are you looking at the research? Y'all are quiet. Are you nervous about AI? Let me ask that. Does it make you nervous? Is it scary? Or are you fired up about it? Which one?
Fired up.
Fired up. I love that. That makes me happy. That makes me happy to hear. Because, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us. I think we have to be careful, but I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us. But we as staffing agencies are the one, both said, Byron said both. He said he's both nervous and excited. I get that. I think I'm both nervous and excited. I'm fired up for sure, though, because I just know that whenever there is chaos, there's opportunity. Whenever things are dysfunctional, there's opportunity. Whenever things aren't working, there's opportunity. And a lot of people run when things are in that way, but you miss the opportunity. All the great companies and the great businesses have grown and risen to the top they started during a time of distress, And so this is where we fit in. Uh Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'll ask her in a second. That's cool. Shannon said both as well, but excited to embark on this in the very beginning of starting my staffing business. Yeah. I think it's best to incorporate it when you first starting your staffing business. You're in the right, and that's what I said, you're in the right stage of it. My biggest concern is that people are just launching and that they don't have a strategy, as they're going out there. And you got to have a strategy. You can't just start the business with no strategy, because then your business is pretty much going to sit. You've got to have strategy, and you got to really have a theme, something that's important to your market, so that theme, you can integrate strategies with that theme, and you can position yourself as a thought leader in the industry, as someone who companies know that you're staying and you're not going anywhere, as someone that that they can trust, right? And so it's very important to literally to think about, okay, how am I positioning AI in my strategy, and what strategies am I going to implement? And they don't have to be super expensive. You don't have to think every strategy is super expensive. In the academy, we did a whole situationship where, I don't know if that's the right word, but where we went through and put a formula into ChatGPT, into any AI platform that you want to put it into. And we told it, hey, we want to get all of these strategies, and, pay us, and this is the budget. And it really, gave us ideas on what we could do within our specific budget. And so there is nothing that you can't do. It's like, what are you going to do? And you got to just do it. Right? You got to just do it. If and I'm going to just say, if your money is funny, still work on things that you can work on every day. You got to work on your business every day too. So that's also very important. Right? So every day you should be taking time out to work on your business. If you're working a full-time job, on your lunch, where's your pen and your book? And you should be thinking about your strategies and your to-do list. At the setup phase, if you're already running the business, then on your lunch you should be focusing on on calling people, on reaching out to people. But if you're in the setup phase, then you should be, look, what's my to-do list for this evening? And that will include working on your business. And, what are my strategies, and what am I doing to implement those strategies from my launch date going forward? That's very, very important. I don't know if Dr. Rice wants to share more about her SaaS product. If she doesn't, I'll share about some of the projects that I've seen some of the nurses do, or some, not all nurses, but most of my class that's building AI, I think are mainly nurses, but I think we might have one or two people who are not in nursing that are in, I think, technology or project management or something like that. But most of them are nurses. So most of the products that we are building are nurse driven. But Dr. Rice, did you want to share? Would you be open to sharing? If not, I can share what some of the people are doing. Oh, I can share. Okay. My nurses. So we have people who are doing like charting platforms that where I guess they're helping nurses chart. We have people who are doing cybersecurity platforms that are helping people protect their data. We have people that are doing project management, like managing people through a project. Like they all have different types of projects. Everybody has a different type of project. I know I'm missing things, but you can do anything. Like you can do a product that is recruiting related. Maybe you're helping the hiring manager recruit better through the AI product that you're utilizing, but you're still getting paid for it because you're the one that's hosting the product. So you still do traditional staffing, but you also offer an AI recruiting type of product, and you're selling both of those. Maybe you're selling a specific type of process, right? The people that you typically place, you can turn those people that you place into an AI product, and you can sell that as a SaaS product or some type of AI agent, right? So that you're in a space where you're placing humans, you're placing agents, and in the future, you'll probably be placing robots too. So it's just more about what you feel comfortable with. We have a class. I'm going to do a new class because this class is pretty much ending. Everybody who's built their software, they should be launching their software here within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to open up that class again for people who want to work with us. We were together, I think we were together for like 2 months, really, 4 weeks, really building out the software. We spent 3 days putting it together, and then every week we meet and we just kind of go through the software, any updates, any challenges, different things like that. And so that's what we're here for. And I think the next class is going to be even more exciting because once you do one class, then you kind of know, okay, I want to change this. I want to update this. So I already have ideas and different things that I want to do with the next class. But I'll do another class and I'll market it and you all will know. Right now, we're getting prepared for the re-recording of the Academy. We changed the date to the 11th of July. So it will not be another date change, just so you know. But the 11th of July is when we're going live with we're re-recording the Academy. So right after that, we'll probably go in and do something for we'll open back up for the AI software. But right now you should be thinking about, like, what software do I want to build, or how do I want to offer AI in my business? It can be a recruiting tool, it can be a credentialing tool, it can be a charting tool, it can be a cybersecurity tool, it can be anything, but right now companies are wanting to buy AI. They are wanting to do that. But they also want people who know how to utilize AI as well. And so it's like, how are you positioning your strategies yourself? Maybe your software is to teach people how to use AI, and you're making your money through your candidates and versus your clients. There are a lot of different things you can do. You just got to have some ideas. That's what I'm all about, unleashing my ideas. You already know I got more ideas than you can possibly imagine, but what are your ideas? How do you feel about it? What do you think you should be, that you should develop? What feels good to you? What sets your soul on fire? Because in my mind, it's like, if I'm placing a specific type of person, I that's a good question. I'm going to look to have the AI version of that person, because that's because the company still needs that person. They just want that person at a more efficient level. And that doesn't mean they're going to fire everyone in that role. Maybe most people might be gone, or they may shift to another role. But for the most part, no, they're going to hire and maintain the employment of the people who understand how to use AI and how to direct it in a way that keeps efficiency going on in the company, keep costs low in the company, just like different things like that. So your mind has to be thinking more like AI systems thinking, versus just how do I do the job? It's like, how do I do my job and where would AI fit into this job? And how could I direct it to be better? Because it's supposed to be a tool to help make, things more efficient. So how do you help make it more efficient? Carmen asks, what does SaaS stand for? SaaS is software as a service. So it's selling software as a service or software as a service. So you're on SaaS platforms all the time, but you don't realize it because you're a user and not a buyer of SaaS. So a buyer of SaaS is someone who is buying a platform that has already created a level of functionality around something, and they're allowing companies to sell that over and over and again to their market, to their people. So a good example would be, I don't know, let me just look. I don't want to, a lot of companies today are SaaS, right? Like Salesforce is a SaaS company. Salesforce is definitely a sales company. Let me just say a SaaS company. Yeah, Adobe, Microsoft, all of these are sales. Google, HubSpot, Slack, Asana, ADP is a SaaS company. I don't know how, but I guess because they're reselling their product over and over again. Amazon Web Services, Zoom. We're on Zoom right now. SaaS product, Shopify, DocuSign, MailChimp, right? So all of these are companies that offer services that can be resold or utilized in a company over and over again, like in a license or what have you. So you can do the same thing too, right? If you think about what role you're currently, filling in your staffing agency, you can go in and think about that role and say, okay, how can I turn that into a software, or how do all of the roles fit into a software? This makes me want to update the niche solution, because the niche solution is about narrowing down your niche market in 3 levels, doing the entire staff in a certain type of, I guess, company or department or industry. I'm sorry, niche market. Finding a team to staff which is the layer 2, and then just specializing in one thing is the layer 1. And I feel like you could do the same thing with SaaS. You could break it down like, do I want to take everything that they need to do in this particular department or company? How do we automate all as much as we can, from those things, or maybe focus on what a group of people would do within an organization like a team, and build a SaaS platform around that functionality, or look at one individual role and say, okay, this is the role. How can we integrate AI into that role and deliver it as a SaaS product or as agents, right? Because you see now they have operator agents, and they're saying they're going to be millions of operator agents all over. But people aren't going to just be utilizing operator agents. I think we're going to have platforms that are going to push operator agents for specific tasks, because only the computer savvy are going to really be on the agent type thing anyway, because a lot of people don't even use the internet or aren't on social media or, so I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the operator agent process goes. But right now, people are still using tech platforms like your Microsoft, like your Slack, and so forth to complete products and different things like that. In my opinion, I think people should go into areas that we're not even thinking of, like software for medical devices. Like, we're not thinking about things like that. Like, my brain goes in a lot of different directions, but the medical device industry is growing, and they're going to need software to talk to the actual healthcare software that's out there as well. So, and that's typically what medical devices, they'll build a device, but the device doesn't talk to the core EMR or EHR software that the hospital or the doctor's office use. Why don't you create that integration? Why don't you create that software? If that's the space. Maybe you don't do an AI software in your niche market. Maybe you're doing something to help support your client, the client that you're working with, or an industry. You've got to figure out what those strategies are going to be and how you're going to incorporate it into your business model. And that's the core of today's conversation. At the setup phase is great. If you've already launched, then the question should be, okay, how do I integrate it into something that I already have? But if you are at the launching phase and you're just getting started, you're just trying to figure out, okay, how I'm going to bring this to life, then while you are doing while you're putting the pieces together, you want to integrate some type of AI strategy in your business. I'm a little under the weather today, y'all. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I can feel it. So okay, Carmen, I may have missed information at some point about this and was wondering, this is a question. How do we get into our courses once you change to another platform? Is everything going to be available to us that we have now? Yes. And hopefully we'll be able to set it up so that when it moves over to the other platform, that it will pick up where you all have left off and where you currently are. So we're working on finalizing the integration for that now, which has been one of the things that has been the holdup, because when I re-record the academy, I would like to do everything on the new platform with everyone on the new platform. That is what I'm pushing for. That is fingers crossed. Building technology is exciting, but it is work that goes with it, but it becomes your baby, just like, it becomes another portion of your baby. I feel like technology, when you offer it as a service, you can still have other services. The technology supports the service that you're offering. Maybe that's the way for you to look at it, right? You're building technology that supports the services that you're offering, which makes you more of a value add, because now you can offer the people the technology and the people who can utilize the technology. Come on with it. 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 All right. Any other questions this morning? These were really great questions. Great questions. Next week, we'll go back through just a little bit of the checklist. I want to make sure, are you utilizing the checklist? Are you going through the steps every day? Are you watching the videos and getting a real understanding of the industry? You need to know how it works, just like at the basic level, so that you'll know how you want to integrate and create something new on top of, around, integrated into what's already there. And I always say, like, you don't just throw new things on people, because most people are used to things being a certain way. So you got to understand what the original way was first before you start building on top of, start building your new stuff. So you want to know how the process works. You want to know how to recruit humans and how to put humans into work. And I want to say something else too. Another reason why you've got to keep in mind that you want to offer humans and AI is because we're putting a lot of eggs into this basket around AI. But what if AI doesn't work? Or what if it shuts down? Or what if it becomes hostile? Or whatever the case may be. And we have to go back to employing humans. How do you think that's going to happen? That's going to happen through us. So we're also the backup. Okay. We're also, that's better. We're also the backup. We're also the backup plan. We're plan B. So you got to also look at it from that perspective. There are many different layers to this process, into building a future. You've got to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and we are definitely plan B. So you're in a great space. You're in the right space at the right time. How are you going to expand your staffing agency? That's the question I have for you. If y'all have any more questions, I'll keep the floor open for a couple of seconds. If we don't have any more questions, we'll close out for this week, and I'll be back next week. If you have not gotten your ticket, please get your ticket to join the Academy Live. You have 2 more weeks to get your ticket. It is on the 11th of July, 11th, 12th, and 13th of July. You will see the postings all over the place. I guess they'll go up sometime today as well, and the emails will be going out as well. We sent some out last week to tell everybody about the update, so I hope you got those. But we're going to re-record the academy. AI, humans plus AI plus robot is this version of the academy. Super excited. So I hope that you all will be there. Work on your business, work on your checklist, watch the videos. You can do this. You got this. You are made for this. You're here for this. Okay. I love y'all. I don't see any more questions. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a phenomenal day. And I'll see y'all next week in our setup class. All right. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Bye. Bye. Bye, my live people. Love y'all too. Bye.